Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. It's me, it's Paul Carpenter, and I start in 5. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I hope that wherever you are is doing good, and I hope that wherever you are is doing good for you. My name is Paul Carpenter, and this is number 4 of 365. And today, I'm talking about forgetting or knowing yourself. And, sometimes we don't know who we are. And we just don't, there's a lot of times, right? People, spend their whole lives and I never knew who I was. and a lot of times, we get confused in that thing. And we say to ourselves, who am I? And so it brings me to this story, and it's about a camel, a little baby camel. He goes up to his mom and he's like, "Hey, Mom, why do I got this hump on my back?" And she's like, "Well, as a camel, you drink water and it stores in your back, and if you need water while you're in the desert, you have it." He goes, "Oh, that makes sense." He goes, "But Mom, why are my eyebrows, why are they so bushy?" And she's like, "Well, because there's sand in the desert, and if the sand hits you in the eyes, and your bushy eyebrows will stop the sand from coming in." And he goes, "Oh. Well, why are my feet so big?" And she goes, "Oh, well, that's because the sand, when you step on it, it sinks. And so if you have more of a space, then it doesn't sink." And he goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "But Mom?" She goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "I have all these things, but I'm inside of a zoo." She says, "Yes, son. Sometimes life isn't fair." So what I'm trying to get at here is that there are many times when we know exactly who we are, and we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing, and we know exactly where we want to go, but we're in a zoo. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just life. That's just the way things ended. Okay, so you ended up in a zoo. You didn't control it. Your mom didn't have choice in where she was going to have you. She just had you. And it's now up to you to make that zoo life as beautiful as possible. And granted you're captured, granted you're in a cage, granted you're in this world where you're not supposed to be, but that doesn't mean that there's something else that could be happening that you're not recognizing or you're not even cognizant of. What about all the people who are, watching you, who are learning about you, who come to the zoo every day, who pay money into the idea of, "Hey, I've never seen a camel from the desert. I've never even been to the desert. But look, there's a camel for the first time in my life." Little kid, 8 years old, says, "Oh my God, there's a camel. I've never seen a camel. I always wanted to know what a camel looks like. Touch one and feel it and look at his bushy eyebrows." And so maybe what's going on here is that you're a camel in a zoo. And there's other people who are watching you that are learning something. There are other people who are watching you who are saying, "Oh, you know what? That camel's got something, bro. And I want to be a camel." Because there's people who like to be animals. One person wants to be an elephant, or somebody else wants to be a this, that, or the other. It's my spirit animal, man. And so it's cool. We are all learning every single day just to take one little moment and enjoy the moment. And I say this a lot to people, and I hope it makes sense. And I always say to people, look, I love, but I don't love. I kiss, but I don't kiss. I eat, but I don't eat. And they're like, "That makes no sense. What are you living, some kind of weird life?" And I'm like, no, man. If you really understand what I'm trying to say, is that each moment should be a moment where you fully are in the moment. So, if it's the meal that you're eating, it should feel like the first time you've ever tasted it. You should take the moment to each morsel of the food should be a moment, and not just I'm eating to eat, I'm fucking to fuck, kissing to kiss. Each one of those kisses should be brought into a space of eternity. Each one of those moments should be brought into a space of absolute engagement of love and compassion and just gratefulness for having the moment, no matter how good or how bad that moment is. The only reason it's good or bad is based on your emotional and ego fulfillment. Now, whether you got fulfilled or not. Because it's the moments when we get surprised at a birthday party that we're like, oh, dude, people care about me. But it's when we get the surprise of a car accident, we're like, oh, God hates me. I'm like, what? No. God doesn't hate or love. God does that. God just is. And we are just being. And the more that we can accept the being, the more that we can accept the allowance of everything, no matter how good or bad, when we can do that, kids, we are on a power trip. We are on something that is unstoppable. And I love you. I love you guys so much. Listen, if you would not mind, please do me the favor. Go out into the world and do something nice for somebody else today. And if you can't do something nice for yourself, it does start with you. Number 2, don't get caught up in all the crazy stuff, because if you do, then you're just going to think crazy thoughts. And number 3, if you would not mind, please like, share, subscribe. Send this out to somebody who needs to hear it. And I just want to tell you, I love you. And I love you so much. I will see you all on the other side.